Milepost here on the V-Twin Life. V-Twin Life is brought to you by a few great companies. One being Crash Inc. Clothing. You can find them out of Oregon. Great company, specialized in clothes, doing work on bikes now. You can check them out at crashinclothing.com. They got a lot of great stuff. Hey, head on over there. Maybe they got something you like. And we can't forget Wild Ass. You like pounding miles, you like riding, you want to be in comfort? Hey, maybe strap a Wild Ass under your ass and ride with an air cushion and be comfortable for hours. And can't forget Custom Dynamics, leading the industry in lighting LED technology. Man, these guys got some great stuff. So head on over to Custom Dynamics and check it out. Now, let's get to another milepost of the V-Twin Life. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in on another Sunday where we're passing milepost 94 tonight with Brad, aka the Iowa Hog Rider. So hey, thanks for coming and hanging out tonight, Brad, and kind of sharing your adventures and your story of how you found life on two wheels.
Hey, glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Heck yeah, I know we've had fun. Been talking half the afternoon already.
Yeah.
So, well, let's start with everybody, man. Where'd you find motorcycles? Where'd it come into life for you?
I started life on motorcycles when I was 6. Growing up on the farm, we had dirt bikes, mini bikes, and as you got older, they just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger until we eventually graduated to road bikes. And I think my first official road bike was a Suzuki GS 450L, and then I graduated up to a V65 Magna. But you know, growing up in Wisconsin, born and raised in Wisconsin, Harley-Davidson was always the dream. And so I was fortunate enough about 4 years ago to get my first Harley. And, now I'm up to 2 Harleys. So that's where it all began for me.
Nice. What was the first one?
First Harley?
Yeah.
I still have it. It's a 1997 Electra Glide Ultra Classic with the old 80 cubic inch carbureted Evo. They still sound sweet.
They do have a distinctive sound. I think, you know, a lot of the engines, like from the Evo, well then, you know, I mean, I'm real familiar with the twin cam, and then it's the Milwaukee is so different sounding.
Oh, yeah.
The M8.
Yeah, I keep the 97. It's nice to kind of bop around town on that and not put miles on the newer bike. But, you know, if the wife and I go out for any kind of a long trip, you know, reliability-wise, it's, even if you have an issue, it's easier to get parts for the new bike. It's tough to find parts for a bike that's 25 years old, even at a local Harley dealership. So
True. And I've heard some people say some of the dealerships won't even work on them anymore.
No, they won't. My local dealer here won't. I know the mechanics real well. They're good friends of mine. I mean, they'll do it on the side, but it's a challenge to find parts. Fortunately, I've been really lucky. I mean, the Evo's just been such a good engine for so many years. I've never really had any major issues with it at all. I think I replaced a chain tensioner and it's the stator.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Yeah. Other than that, that's really the only issue I've had. And I was fortunate. I caught a video on YouTube from Doc Harley, who is the Harley mechanic there on YouTube down in, I think, North Carolina, talking about it. And I'm like, I wonder. Pull the cover off. I'm like, yep. It was not if, it was when. And ordered a new part, you know, had it put it in myself. I mean, it's a couple screws, but yeah, it's been a great bike, great engine, doesn't leak, runs like a top.
Let's say you take care of them, you keep up on the regular maintenance. A lot of them, you know, they'll go the distance.
Yeah, I think I've got like 69,000 miles on that one now, which really anymore isn't a lot of miles.
No, I mean, yeah, you look at some of these, you know, being part of, you know, following like the long distance rider groups and whatnot, and seeing, you know, pictures of some of these guys as odometers. I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah.
So you and the wife, you guys enjoy getting out and traveling, and you know, getting out, spending time on the bike, or you know, what's your kind of style?
We do. We you know, we've got some good friends that are about our age. We're in our mid to late 50s, and we really enjoy, more than anything, the benefit ride. really enjoy doing that. And, feel like you're giving back in a way to a good cause, especially if it's for the kids. Um, our son had some health issues when he was in his teens, and everything turned out great, which we're really fortunate. So we don't forget that, and really appreciate everything that goes into taking care of those kids. And so anytime we have an opportunity to do a benefit ride, my wife is actually really big into the Wisconsin Badger Camp, which is a non-for-profit, publicly donation-funded camp for kids with disabilities. So they do a lot of great work, charity work, to raise funds to help those kids out. So we enjoy doing that every chance we get.
That's awesome. It is fun to, being able to do something you enjoy and then turn it into a way to give back and what I think it says a lot. I think, it's just a great thing to do. If you can do something you enjoy, which is riding, and, you can find some of these organizations that need help, and, if you can enjoy some time miles and you're benefiting something, it's awesome. It's a win-win.
It is. It really is. The veterans, I have the utmost respect for all of our veterans. Every chance we get, I've got some really good friends that are veterans, and we'd love to ride for their causes, anything that they're doing. I think that's really the great thing about the entire motorcycle community, is just the brotherhood, sisterhood, the giving back part of it. And, a lot of people, I think, have the preconceived notion based on what they see in TV and movies about what a biker is. And, when you really get back and you know people that ride and that participate in some of these events, you realize that bikers are some of the most giving people there are. It doesn't matter where you're at in the country. I mean, you go out on a weekend, and a nice weekend, and you can be traveling down the road, and all of a sudden you'll see 50, 80, 100 bikes go by. Chances are they're riding a benefit for something or someone.
Yeah. Very true. And, a lot of them will get it, the stereotype just that's been there forever. But no, you're right. A lot of you'll see some of those massive packs, and it's like good chance, exactly what you're saying, is they're doing some sort of benefit for a cause or for an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motorcycle community as a whole is a great community.
It is, without a doubt. I look back a year ago, I basically sat on the couch for 12 weeks during the prime of the riding season because I had some surgeries I had to go through. And it just drives you nuts. It's a nice sunny day. You want to get out and ride, but you can't. But the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the appreciation I got being a part of the motorcycle community from a lot of people that at that point I had never even met was fantastic. I mean, it really kind of made my day. Whether it was a YouTube video that you could watch and kind of ride along with them, so to speak, or just the messages you would get, words of encouragement, just phenomenal. You can't say enough. Until you've gone through it, it's probably hard for a lot of people to really appreciate. But once you go through that and you get that type of feedback from fellow riders, it just means the world.
True. It is a great support and a great network. So besides your Evo, so you also got your 21 now, is it the Road King?
I've got a 20, that's actually a 19 model year electra glide standard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What kind of goodies you done to that?
Let's see. New wheels, fenders, saddlebags, rear fender, tour pack, stereo, interfering, windshield.
So I guess I should ask what's stock on it.
The cylinder covers, that's about it.
Oh, that's nice.
Literally, that's about the only thing standard left on that thing. But when I bought it, I was very fortunate. I've got some really good friends that they're talented way beyond my means, and they build bikes. It's what they do. So I learned a lot from them. But going into, I knew I wanted a new bike, but I knew I didn't want standard Harley factory, even a special, because I'm going to tear it apart and I'm going to make it my own. So for me, buying a standard was a great option.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I didn't have the expenses as you would a special. but I knew exactly what I wanted to do to it, so I was going to be taking a lot of stuff out. You think of a Harley boombox. Well, I didn't want the Harley boombox, so going with the standard for me was a great option to really be able to customize and build the bike I wanted to build without spending a lot of extra dollars. And at the end of the day, if you take a lot of those parts off, what are you going to do with them?
Right.
If you sell them, you're basically going to give them away. So,
And what was it, 19 or 20 was the last year of the standard? You can't get it anymore.
yeah, I think 20 or 21 might have been the last year.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was right around there which is, I don't know, I think it's kind of crazy. Especially like what you're saying, if a guy wants to buy a bike, has all kinds of ideas and plans, they're going to change and make it their own, which is awesome. I think everybody should do that to their bikes. But now you don't have that option. You got to go, standard, the special, or not the standard, but the special or, whatever, because you just can't get the plain Jane standard, which I think was, I don't know. I didn't see the smarts of them not doing it, but I don't know. I'm not a marketing individual with them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a catch-22, I guess. I mean, I can understand it from Harley's corporate point of view. When you think of tooling and production and that whole process, having multiple models, base models with different variations, it just adds to your overhead. So I get that part of it. But then again, for somebody trying to get into motorcycling who wants to get a touring bike, you look at the prices of a brand new, whether it's roadglide or street glide special, or even more the CVOs. I mean, those are beautiful bikes, but Lord,
Yeah,
they're not cheap.
that CVO is way out of my price range and will never be in my garage.
Me too. Well, because like the first thing that really struck me, the very first year I went to Sturgis in 2020, you can walk up and down the street. Lord knows there's 15,000 bikes lined up there. You never see two bikes identical to one another. There's always something different about it. And that's the unique thing about being in the motorcycle culture. And it's not just Harley, but motorcycles in general, everybody customizes it, kind of makes their own. And
Yeah.
You look at a CVO, you're going to spend that kind of money and then start taking things off of it because you want to make it your own. It just seems a little crazy.
Yeah, by then you're in a 6-figure bike.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, it won't take long. But they do have some beautiful colors. Some of the CVOs, I've always loved the black and white. The skunk one was one of my favorites.
Yeah. I thought the 120th anniversaries, they were really sharp from what I've seen. I haven't seen one up in person yet, but I think they look really nice. That paint scheme was pretty sharp.
So when you get out like touring, talking about riding you and your wife together, you guys enjoy doing, like multi-day adventures on the bike, or, what's kind of your setup when it goes for, whether you're going 3 to 5 day adventure?
Typically, if she's with me, it'll be a weekend, maybe like a one night, maybe 2 nights somewhere, but generally it's relatively close. She's not big into the long miles. We're going to stop every couple hours, for a break somewhere when she's riding with me. So we like to pick a spot and okay, let's go try this, and we'll ride over there and try something new. A lot of what we do is, if it's not for a benefit of some type, it's maybe go visit a place, get a bite to eat, grab something to drink, try something new, that kind of thing.
Yeah. They're fun adventures. Find a new hole in the wall place, and grab a drink, grab some food, and it is fun. Explore the back roads and find that hidden America.
You're absolutely right. And that is the most fun, are those little hidden gems that are out in the middle of nowhere, the back roads. I'm personally, I don't really enjoy riding on the interstate. If I want to get from A to B in a hurry, great, jump on the interstate. But the adventure and the fun is and the memories are really created when you take those off the beaten path type places.
Yep.
And those are where you find the hidden gems, and you really build some memories. And I try and capture as much of that as I can, and put some type of video together usually. But that's a lot of fun.
So that was another question I was, wanted to get to is what made you want to do the old YouTube scene?
Well, for me, it really started out as a way to share the memories I created with friends, because, if you capture some good video footage on your, heck, face it, we all started probably on using our phones. The files are too big to email them. So how do you share those memories that you created with others? And so I'll put it on YouTube. I can just send you a link and it's always there for anybody who wants to watch it. So that's kind of where it started from. And, I look back at the first videos I ever put together and my God, did they suck. I didn't know what I was doing. Not that I know a whole lot more now, but
that's what so many people, I'm in that right there at that point. And I, from so many different channels, I mean, not just within, motovlog channels or motorcycle, they always talk about, your first 15, 20 or whatnot, they're not going to be the greatest. You're going to see your evolution, see how you progress, but everybody starts somewhere and you just got to pull the trigger and you just do it.
Yeah.
And you learn as you go. Kind of like doing this. I mean, I've learned a lot as I've been going and still having an absolute blast doing it.
Oh yeah. I really enjoyed this. And again, the camaraderie, if you're not on the video or on the live stream, the chat. And I've joked about this with some others before. I think back a couple of years ago, you get on the live stream with somebody that you started following and you're talking to one another, but it's always based on your YouTube name. Well, now we've gotten to know each other, and it's hilarious how we call everybody by their first name. Even though in some cases we've never met.
Right here. Marine Rider.
Yeah, you bet. Grant. Met Grant last year. Had a great time. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it is. It's a lot of fun when you get. It's like you feel you know these people and you interact with them for so long. When you finally get to meet in person, it's a lot of fun. But it's like you feel like you've known the person forever.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. I'm looking at the list over here. Grant and Dez and God, just so many people that we've gotten to know, and I've been fortunate enough to meet them. The best experience I honestly had last year at Sturgis was actually getting to meet so many of the fellow YouTubers that we had been either on live streams with or chatted with on live chats. We actually got to meet, and it was just fantastic. It was a blast.
Oh, I bet that's, in a way, the best reward of doing it all when you finally get that friendship face to face and not, I guess the way you could say we're face to face, we're over a computer monitor, but when you can, get out there and give, hang out, shake hands, bro hugs, everything, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and even the learning communities, I'm not an expert in photography and video editing, and heck, I still use an iPad and iMovie, and
Oh yeah.
But if you have a question, you can put a quick note out there, and you'll get 10 or 15 responses like right away. And people that are much, much better at it, really understand it better than I do. But the willingness to help a fellow YouTuber, try and put together better content is just unbelievable.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, Bri the biker, he's been an awesome friend. I feel like we've been friends our whole life. We've still never met face to face, talked to the guy multiple times a week, and he's the one that has, been the biggest support and helped me get to where I am here on YouTube. It was always a plan. I'm going to get there eventually. And finally, he's like, no, we're doing this. And, with his support of me, and heck, my microphone, he sent me some little goodies like, let's do this. And it's like, holy crap. Hooked a few things up, and it's like, well, hell, let's do this. 2.5 hours later, me and Brian and Sets Pendants are doing the first live on YouTube. And I had no idea what I was doing, but it was a lot of fun. And it is, you get that support within the community and people that we know, and there's always somebody that kind of can lead you in the direction you're going or has that bit of advice you need, and that's what we're all here for.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing I find it very interesting is, everybody's got their take on it. I'm not one that's looking to get 100,000 subscribers, and that's
Actually, Beggars and Brews has a great point. It's not a competition. Some people really get lost in that, which is very true.
exactly. Yeah, but in this community, it doesn't matter. If that's your goal, people are going to support you in your goal. If others are like me, where it is what it is. I do it for friends and family. They're just as supportive.
Oh yeah, it's like Springer Mike. I talk to him at least 2-3 times a week. I don't know why. I mean, him and Nick, they're great dudes.
I can't wait till we get a chance to meet up at Sturgis this year.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be up there, so
Yeah,
that's going to be. I'm looking forward to that.
I'll be at the Wild Ass booth, slinging seats, meeting new people.
Well, you get done slinging seats and meeting new people, you come over and we'll throw something on the grill.
There we go. I'm always down for that. But no, it's like you said. It's YouTube can be a lot of fun. It all depends, I guess, in a way how serious. And some people can get very lost in the analytics and numbers. And I've always had the goal that I wanted to get the V Twin Life here and do it like this. And man, it's a lot of fun for me. I enjoy every milepost is so much fun, and every milepost is a new friend.
Yeah.
And that's the best reward of all this is, I've made now 94 new friends doing this, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, you and I met actually, probably for the first time, maybe a month ago?
Yeah, I think on Stevie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I followed you and
yeah, vice versa.
Went back and forth, but we actually never talked to one another until that time. So, look at us now. Here we are today. Well, it's
funny, like earlier, you and I were talking earlier this afternoon, and how much we actually have in common. Even back to the points of how we grew up, similar jobs, and we're both, we're both carnivores. We love grilling, we love eating, we love barbecuing, and we love good beer.
Yeah.
And bourbon. Shit, we got it made.
You'd swear we were brothers from a different mother or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just funny, talking how much, the similarities we had, in our younger years from growing up was comical. And the interests, we share so many common interests. Like, holy shit, that's pretty good.
That was funny. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that it was. So what do you think is one of your favorite places that you've got to visit, or, favorite ride that really has stuck out to you when it comes to motorcycle adventures?
Sturgis, first and foremost, is the best place I've gone to ride. My favorite ride so far has been Spearfish Canyon. I really enjoyed Spearfish Canyon. I love the long sweeping turns and the scenery, and it's something you don't find in Iowa. I can guarantee you that. But
yeah, because you're pretty much, Iowa's just flat, ain't it?
For the most part, until you get over by the Mississippi River. Now, there's some phenomenal riding in northeast Iowa. When you get into the bluffs along the Mississippi, it's actually not a whole lot different than the Black Hills. But to me, just the whole environment, the vibe around Sturgis and everything is been my favorite.
I know the wife and I really want to get back over there, but we'd love to do another trip and spend at least 5 days, but go pre-rally, do another like June trip like we did last year, but spend more time. Because, there's so much stuff to see. And it's hard. We end up having a shorter bit of time. I did. I wouldn't say so much she did because she had a girlfriend. They were checking stuff out. They had the car. But, I spent a day at the Harley shop broken. But there's just so much to see. And even 3 days, there's no way you could pack so much stuff in if you really want to explore and see the vast history of what's out there. Because it is a beautiful piece of America.
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget. So leading up to 2020, which was going to be my very first trip to Sturgis, I watched every video on YouTube about Sturgis I could. I kept a list of all the different destinations I wanted to ride to. I didn't get to all of them. 21, I didn't get to go. 22, I went out last year. I got a few more checked off, but I still haven't hit every ride that I'd like to get to. Like you say, I think last year I was out there in 8 days. I still didn't get to them all.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you one place you got to put on your list that I found, and we found it thanks to I'm gonna brain fart for a minute, but as the Boar's Nest in Leeds, South Dakota, just south of Deadwood. That 2-lane life. There we go.
Yep.
It was on their story like 2 weeks before I went over there, and so me and Cesar Pendants and my son Hayden, we went up there and had a beer and some brew, and that is the coolest hangout there is. It was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's been on my list twice, and I still haven't gotten there.
Yeah, it was on ours. We came down we came out of Spearfish Canyon and down to Deadwood. And like, hold on, pull up. We're taking a left. We're going up to the Boar's Nest, and it was, a couple miles to the junction there, Deadwood, and well worth it. My stickers are there. There's one in the bathroom, and then there's one on the side door. You got to tag the places,
I'm trying to think, what's the other place as you come into Keystone, the steak joint there?
We ate at one place in Keystone.
Steel Pony, Pink Pony, something like that.
I think I got a picture. We did breakfast just before going up to Mount Rushmore stuff that Sunday morning, which is funny because none of us paid attention as we walk in. There's a sign on the front door that says cash only. Oh, awesome. But we had it covered. But
Powder House, that's it.
I don't remember. I know Mike and Nick, you guys were watching. You remember where we had breakfast in Keystone? I know we took a picture of it. I think we had one.
I see my good friend Tom there, Tom in the five chat Powder House. Yeah, that was. He and I were supposed to meet last year there for dinner, and that didn't quite pan out. But I guess part of the fun of it is it just gives you a reason to go back again, year after year.
Peggy's Home Cooking. That's what it was. Right up on the corner as you head up towards Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I'll have to add that to my list. I don't remember that one.
Yeah, a little place in Keystone. As you're going through Keystone, heading towards Mount Rushmore, you're about to round the last corner, and you can see the gondola, or the zip line. That's what it was. It's right there on your left. Cool little, little mom and pop restaurant. But the food's pretty good. Yeah, then we did the Boar's Nest, and then on the way back, we stopped at the Fort Saloon and Eatery in Casper, Wyoming. Fuck, that was some amazing food. That place is freaking good.
Yeah. Well, to me, you get out around Sturgis, outside of the rally, it's small town, rural America.
Yeah, very small town. Well, especially, pre-rally time. Very much there.
Yeah, and so, a lot of those places you go into, it's what I'm accustomed to. It's good home-cooked food, large portions, more than I really probably need. And
yeah, I venture to those places too. But sometimes it's just hard not to eat at all.
I know. You feel guilty if you don't clean your plate up, right?
Yeah. Very true. Especially like tonight when I had leftovers of fettuccine and steak. It's like, fuck, shouldn't have made this much, but goddamn, it's good.
Well, they make that big grate on the grill so you can fill it up.
Oh, I did last night, trust me. Those are some damn good steaks. Oh. Oh, that is good. So, where you're at in Iowa, so kind of what's the population where you live?
So I'm in East Central Iowa. I live in Waterloo, which is the home of John Deere. So, if you've ever seen a John Deere tractor parked along the road anywhere, that's where it comes from, is here in Waterloo. That's probably the biggest employer. And then you have Cedar Falls. So I think we're around 85,000 people maybe.
Oh, Jesus. So that's a larger town.
Yeah. I'm guessing I could be way off on that. But.
Yeah. Well, for instance, I think Port Angeles, where I'm at, we're around 20,000, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of manufacturing, and obviously being in Iowa here, it's a lot of agriculture. So
Oh yeah, I can see that. So how long does it take? So if you want to get out, just kind of get out in the some of the farm roads, back roads, cruising. How much distance you got to cover before you're out in just kind of no man's land in a way?
2 miles.
Oh shit. Okay.
I mean, you, you go out the driveway, take a right, take a left, and you're in farm country. So it doesn't take long to get lost around here.
So if someone's up visiting your area, what's a good steak place to go? A good place to eat in your neck of the woods.
Uh, there's a lot of we call them supper clubs around here. I don't know. I've noticed. Like growing up in Wisconsin, you find these little hole in the wall places. It used to be somebody's house that now is a supper club, steak, seafood, that type of thing. They're all over the place. So there's a lot of really good little places like that if you want a good steak. Um, talk to the locals. They'll point you in the right direction pretty quick. Um, if you get towards the bigger cities, Iowa's really got about 4 or 5 major cities in it, and that's about it. You've got your typical chain restaurants, your Texas Roadhouse and Lone Star and all those, but there's actually a lot of really really good little places if you just can find your way to them that are out
Mm-hmm.
nowhere.
I like that. There's a lot of if you build it, he will come areas around Brad.
Yeah.
Tell
Well,
you what, that's one place I would love to come visit up there is Field of Dreams.
I was just gonna say, I know you and the boys here. Your boys are big into baseball.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, if you ever get the chance, I can't encourage anybody enough. You got to go to Field of Dreams.
Now, how far is that from where you're at?
From where I'm at, it's 40 miles maybe.
Okay, so that ain't too bad,
Not
really.
too far. No. Desiree from Wind Road Therapy, we went over there last year. Had an absolute blast, and she did a phenomenal job on her video. But trust me, what she put in that video was edited to the hilt because she had a lot of footage that I think probably didn't show up. But it's unique, and it's not many times do you get an opportunity to just walk onto a place where an iconic movie was made and you know bring a ball and a glove and play catch. I've been there, excuse me, so many times I can't even begin to count. But um, any so as you pull in the driveway, there's fields, and one of my research plots was there, and so I was there 5-6 times a week. Any day of the week you show up there will be people out there playing catch. Even
Oh wow.
you know, uh, it's amazing. People come from literally all over the world. Will be there on any given day. So it's pretty neat.
So it's basically, I guess, open to the public then.
It is. It's not really a. They ask for a donation when you pull in. You don't have to give a donation to get
Mm-hmm.
it, but that's it helps for the upkeep and some of those things. But yeah, it's a very unique place. I would encourage anybody if you come, definitely bring a ball and a glove, but you want to take the tour too. Um, they have a number of older gentlemen now that actually were in the movie as extras that will dress up in the authentic period baseball uniforms, and they'll give you a really good uh, tour. You can tour through the house that the movie was shot in, and then obviously you've got the field out there, and that's what everybody comes for. Um,
That would just be awesome.
yeah,
You know what? It was an iconic movie, especially when it came to baseball. Is anybody that has that passion in life also of baseball. It's man, it was an awesome movie. It was so cool.
great story. Funny how it shows up as such an iconic movie. It was shot on a shoestring budget, literally. I mean, and how in the world they picked Dyersville, Iowa, I have no idea. But
Well, then see like what last year who do you have the Yankees and was it the Sox playing?
That was the first year. Last year was it the two different teams?
Well, yeah, usually it is two teams, Brad. You know, you got to each side.
Yeah, I know.
uh,
Was it the Cubs and the? I'm drawing a blank in the other one.
Cincinnati and the Cubs.
Cincinnati and the Cubs. That's right. Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to start doing that yearly then.
The plan was to hold a yearly game. Now, my understanding is there's been a large company, investor company that bought the ground around it, and they want to turn it into this big destination development thing. And it's caused a lot of people in Iowa to be upset because you're taking away from the nostalgia of what the Field of Dreams is.
Mm-hmm.
And the people, locals, you know, when they had the idea of bringing Major League Baseball there for a game, but that field that the movie was shot on is not Major League size. And
right.
So the Major League said, we have to build a Major League park. We'll build it over here, which people weren't happy about, but they understood why. Okay, we get it. And they did a fantastic job. The way they built it and really didn't look obtrusive to the natural settings, the way they put it together. And all the stands are, you know, they put them up, tear them down. So they're not permanent stands and some of those things. So we were okay with that. But this idea of building a hotel and a multiplex with umpteen different ball fields to host kids' baseball tournaments really didn't fly well. It didn't go over very well, but it is what it is. I mean, they own the land. They can do what they want with it at this point. So I guess we'll find out, you know, see how it turns out. But it's still neat to be able to get out to the Field of Dreams itself.
Yeah, true. Now we got sidetracked on that squirrel hole of baseball, which, you know, it's another passion of mine, so it's good. So besides doing like Sturgis this year, you got any other, you know, ride plans or adventures that your bucket list you're going to try to knock out this year?
Definitely want to get over to Milwaukee this year for the 120th. Wanted to get there for the 115th, couldn't make that happen. And, you know, being the 120th anniversary, I think that's usually Harley does a really good job of celebrating those 5-year milestones. So I want to get over to that. Being born and raised in Wisconsin, there's, you know, my heart goes to Harley every day and twice on Sunday. So I'm really looking forward to getting over on that. And then obviously Sturgis. And we've got a local rally on the 4th of July weekend, the A-Bait rally, which is always a lot of fun. So get to go up to that there. That's kind of up in north central Iowa with a lot of my friends, and we'll do that. And then maybe try and get down to the K River this year. We'll see how things kind of shake out there. But
so you're going to try and do the Stubborn America down there?
Yeah, the Stubborn American. Yeah.
So from where you're at, how far is that for you to get down there?
Oh, that's probably, I'm guessing 8-9 hours.
Okay. Yeah, a lot closer for you.
During the day. It'd be
I think it's like 2,000 miles from my house. Just over that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a little bit more than a day trip.
Yeah. That'd definitely be a longer day. And then some. Even beyond a bun burner.
There you go. Now you got some big plans for this riding season. We were talking earlier about some.
Yeah, I'll be doing part of the Monsters 100 for Mile Monsters. That starts May 4th, ends August 11th. It's now 2 riders per day for 100 days. Each rider riding 1,000 miles. With the end goal of raising $200,000, and this ride will benefit Drew, who's one of the young boys of Mile Monsters who is now confined to a wheelchair, and the family needs to get a wheelchair van, and they've kind of come upon some hard times themselves as Drew's dad has been having some heart problems, and so he's one of the boys with Mile Monsters. We do whatever we can to help these boys live their best lives, and so they're going to be the recipient of we want to raise enough money to get a brand new hero hauler for him and get it all outfitted with wheelchair lifts. And cool thing is the ride is going to end in Sturgis, so there's going to be a big little gathering actually at Black Hills Harley-Davidson August 11th when Chris Hopper will be the final rider coming in, because this ride was modeled after his 100,000 mile 100-day ride. And so ride starts at May 4th and Chris Hopper will finish it. But it'll be announced later for the guys that are riding it where they can meet up with. So there might be a large group who'll meet up and ride the last 100 miles into Sturgis with him. And we're flying the boys and the families that you got Alfie in Ireland, you got Drew, he's in I think it's Pennsylvania. You got Gavin down in Texas and Turbo in California. So we're going to fly them and their families up to Sturgis for the weekend, do a big barbecue with them, and, let the boys be boys for a weekend and let them live their best lives, and we'll all hang out and have a good time.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So we got that. And then I have my ride August, I think it's 21st August, the Monsters Over Mountains, which would be another 1,500 mile and under 36-hour ride as we crisscross the mountain passes and explore the Northwest. I'm still working on the final route, but last year we had a really good one and we zigzagged the Cascade Mountains, including Mount Hood in Oregon. So we're going to do something similar to that and, help raise some more funds for Mile Monsters, which, they're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So everything that we raise goes right to them, and we can help these boys who live with Duchenne's, which is a terminal disease, try to live their best lives, and also try to get Duchenne in the public eye to do what we can to get more funding and more research, and hopefully someday we can find a cure and these boys won't lose their lives.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's you never wish ill upon most anybody, but especially kids, it's just
exactly. Especially if being a parent, you feel blessed and fortunate when your kids are healthy and everything goes great. But you look at these boys who I've got to know these boys, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Not just for the boys. And then the parents. It's you look at these boys. It's amazing. They're your heroes of what they do, but so are the parents. 100 times the strength and dedication of what they go through too is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I'll never forget in 21 when I had my first surgery, they wheel you out and you're in, finally get to your room and you don't get to lay there very long. They're going to get you up and, get you moving. And I wasn't moving very fast, but I was moving, and I'm walking down the halls in Iowa City is the Stead Family Children's Hospital, which is phenomenal, for pediatric medicine. And, as I'm shuffling down the halls trying to get my exercise like they wanted me to, I could see into these rooms and the kids, and I'm thinking, boy, as bad as I thought I felt, when you look at what those kids are going through in some of those rooms, it's like...
Yep. I was one of those kids a long time ago. But Mike, actually, anybody that follows me on Facebook, whether my personal page or if you follow the V-Twin Life Facebook page, the Monster 100 fundraiser is pinned at the top of both my pages. It's going through givebutter.com, and that way everybody that is on the ride, each person can sets up their own individual, but then there's also the tally of everybody's together at the top. So it's a new place that Mile Monster's trying out, and I guess it's working really well for them. So if anybody wants to make a donation, it's on both Facebook pages, my personal and the V-Twin Life. And anything and everything, you want to give up a coffee money for a day, hey, that's awesome. Everything helps, or even just sharing it. We get it out there in the eye, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Children's Hospital is an amazing hospital. I was younger and spent a good amount of time in Children's Hospital from a motorcycle wreck. But you can't quit. You just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
There we go. Trying to figure out how to share this in the chat so people can see it. Here we go. Copy. Now I got to see how smart I am.
So when I can't figure it out, I just give it to my 11-year-old grandson and say, here, put this on there, make this work.
Oh, there you go. That's very true.
Usually within 2 minutes, it's up and running.
There we go. There's the link. I popped it up. It should show up here in a minute, I hope. But yeah, you can find it on both Facebook pages. So, yeah, thank you very much for your support if you guys head over there, guys and gals. So what are the kind of plans you got for this year, Brad? Are you going to do any more goodies to your bike, or?
Got a few little upgrades. I ordered the upgraded stereo and amps. So with the tour pack on now, I'll put a couple speakers in the back to that. And then I ordered the center stand for it, electric center stand. Other than that, maybe the lower forks. It's about the only thing I got left to change out. Otherwise, there's nothing left of the original bike outside of the engine.
How many miles are on
it? Just short of 20.
Okay. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much a good overhaul if you've basically gotten everything except, the motor, and it's all been changed. But I mean, I guess, smart when you buy the standard because you know what you want to do and you got a plan in mind.
Yeah, for me, I like I say, I knew what I wanted it to look like and what that was going to entail, and I just didn't see the need to buy special when I'm going to tear so much of it apart and put something on it that I want to make it my own. So it was a good option for me. Might not be the option for everybody,
but see, that's just it. You bought a bike and you made it yours. You did what you want. So I don't see where you're wrong. So it might not be for everybody. You know what? It's for you and it's your bike, and you took the angle, the avenue that you wanted, and so I love it.
Yeah. The 107's been a good engine for me. I can't complain about it. Would a 114 or a bigger engine be nice? Yeah, probably, but that's not the way I ride. I'm there for the comfort. I'm going to get from point A to point B, and trying to get there in half the time doesn't interest me, because to me you miss too much.
Have you done any goodies to the engine?
I haven't at this point. I played around with the idea of doing a stage 1 and stage 2 on it, but at this point I have not cracked the engine open.
Well, then if it's still running good, I mean, you're enjoying it. You obviously you keep up on all the daily maintenance, and you're still just a little beyond your broke-in stage and got a long ways to go.
Yeah. My cousin, he bought the Street Glide Special the same year I bought mine, and so he had the 114, I had the 107, and we're cousins. We raced since we were 6 years old on dirt bikes, and well, you just got to do it again. But the 114, once you get up to speed, he could pull away from me, but off the line, I didn't notice any difference between his bike and my bike. It was more at that top end that he could a little more torque pulling away in the long run. So I'm happy with the 107.
My dad has it. He did, he went on his. He did the True Duels on his 19. He put a cam in it, new tuner, slip-ons, and an intake. Said the difference is night and day. Especially, he goes, just with the True Duels, he goes, get rid of that restriction. You open it up, he goes, it's huge difference, just the exhaust.
I was shocked. I put tabs on mine, and I could not believe just putting the slip-ons on how big a difference that made.
Oh, they're so restricted. Everything comes with the California emissions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't breathe well.
Well, I always find it interesting, especially like each year when the new models are going to come out, and there's Lord knows how many channels, everybody's got their video out on the new release products, and why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? And I kind of chuckle to myself. Maybe it's just because of where I grew up and knowing the history of Harley. I think It was out on Discovery Channel a few years ago. There was a 3-part series called Harley and the Davidsons.
That was an awesome series. I really enjoyed that.
I did too. And if you watch that, Harley didn't sponsor it, but Harley opened up the museum to the producers and any technical information. They gave them blueprints so they could build those replica bikes and try and make it as authentic as they could. But there's a lot of truth to that 3-part series. And if you think, I think it's part 2 where Walter Davidson's are talking about the cottage industry and how that spurs other businesses and provides opportunities for others to provide parts that you can put on a Harley. It's still a big part of their culture. Even though we have the CVOs, which are really sweet, but that ability to customize your bike and make it your own really goes way, way back. And, granted,
Good point.
And Harley has to play by the rules, right? They have to meet federal emissions standards. And so as much as they'd like to do some things, technically they know how to do it, but they're not allowed to do it.
Right.
You and I can buy it and we can do whatever we want to it at that point. So, I always kind of chuckle at some of those videos that come out and some of the perspective others have. I don't think they really understand
Regulations.
the regulations that Harley has. They have to play by. And then, part of it is also that culture that is part of Harley. And they don't build them the way everybody wants them off the floor, because that takes away from a lot of these other businesses that can provide employment and, support the local communities and tax dollars. And, there's a lot that goes into that. And it's all still giving everybody the ability to make a Harley their own. So it's kind of interesting.
It's a good point. I think it's all part of owning a motorcycle. It's doing the little things to it that makes it stand out, that makes it unique, and speaks to you because it's your bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We all have our own, our own quirks and the own things we like, and just because, Sam does it doesn't mean that Joe's got to do the same thing. Or, sure, you might see somebody's bike, it's like, it's just, not my cup of tea, but it is his and he likes it and he did it. So, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
make them your own.
The other day, somebody was talking about building a hardtail chopper for a Longride.
There's a guy that does it. He's got a huge stretched out chopper, and I can't remember the name. His name, I see his post sometimes in the long distance riders group. This thing's got like a 7-8 foot front end. And he's been traveling the world on this chopper. It's got an Evo motor in it, and it is insane. But dude's been riding it all over the world.
I laugh about that. I think about a new off the floor touring bike. We all complain that the suspension for long touring sucks on one of those. Can you imagine making a hardtail chopper on a long ride?
No.
Suspension. Like, holy crap.
Dude, my stock suspension on my Harley is bad enough.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But
and they were shorter, actually, because mine was swapped over to a street glide suspension to lower it on my road glide. My dad had did that before a couple years back. So he wanted to sit a little lower, look kind of cool. But man, it was finally wore out, and I'm looking forward to, finally getting some miles and really seeing how much the difference in how I like the new shocks that I got on it now that I put on last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to laugh the day I put them on. I went up to my dad's, and it wasn't too bad. It was, kind of overcast, so it's like, it's 45 degrees. Like, fuck it, I'm going to wear a heavy sweatshirt. It's like 10 miles to my dad's house. So I ride up to dad's, open his garage door, we roll his road glide off the bike lift, because he always parks it on there, and pull it out, put mine on the lift, bring his back in and shut the door, because it was cold out. He had a fire going in the shop, and work on the bike for about 2 hours. All right, cool, we're done. Everything buttoned up. So here, I'll put your bike outside, and I'll roll mine off, because my dad had knee surgery not that long ago. So, I'll move everything around for him. It's nice to use a shop for that stuff, because he's got the bike lift, and open the garage door, and it's fucking raining. I'm like, you serious? Fuck. Wasn't supposed to rain. Like, oh well, it's not far home, but actually it wasn't bad. And the road was more wet once I left his house, and I was still driving and got home. So it's like, hey, shoot, win-win.
there you go. Yeah. But there's people they love their hardtails.
Yeah, or there's people that love their bat wings,
Yeah.
like Chris. Or Nick, yeah, I want hardtail as a young man. Yeah, it's different when you're younger. It's, older guys now. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah, hardtail's old school, and then throw a Springer on the front. Yeah. I like my kidney, so I'll stick with some suspension.
I have no choice. I've only got one kidney left, so.
Oh yeah, you better stick with that one.
Keep that one going, man.
No kidding.
What'd you think of the tri-glide, the roadglide three-wheeler?
I like it, but it'd be nice if it had some sort of trunk on the back.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. To me, I thought it was odd that they never brought the shark nose fairing out years ago. I mean,
Very true.
other than a couple brackets, nothing's different between the two. But
Yeah, right, exactly. You go from bat wing to a shark nose in the front, it is, a couple brackets in the fairing, and same thing.
but the way they designed that, where you could put a trunk on, but then you can't access your lower trunk, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Kind of goofy.
Yeah, it would be nice, get the upper, tour pack or whatnot, like, some of the other tri-glides have, and, more storage for those adventures.
Yeah. My wife, she's like, every time I go in the store, she keeps looking at the three-wheelers. I said, listen, when I cannot hold up two wheels, I'll think about three wheels. Until that point, I am staying on two wheels.
Yeah. Well, it's like for me, years back, they changed the laws in Washington, so now I never had my endorsement grandfathered in with a trike endorsement. So if I wanted to go do a trike, I got to go take a class to have that added to my license too, because I'm not endorsed for a trike.
Oh, jeez.
I have every single thing else imaginable on my license, from 2 wheels to 18 to hazmat to tankers to doubles and triples, and my license costs enough money.
Hazmat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought that was funny. You and I can legally drive an 18-wheeler down the road, but you got to get a special license for a three-wheeler.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can carry hazmat, toxic chemicals, and everything else, but I can't ride a trike. All right.
Oh, no.
God, speaking of which, I have to retest for my hazmat if I want to keep it on my license here in a couple of weeks. You have to redo the written test every 2 years in Washington.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're every 4 or 5 out here. But I've got to do it because I work in agriculture, so I'm hauling chemicals, and now I've got 2 large drone sprayers that I play with. So those are pretty cool.
2 years with my hazmat, I think I've actually only used it 3 or 4 times.
Oh, I know. I got to sit there for a week and relearn everything because I don't pay any attention to it. I've just done it for so long. I know how to do it, do what I need to do, and don't even think about it. But when you actually have to take the test on it, it's like you got to kind of relearn everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked up the book. I should probably look through it in a little bit. And I think, what was this? Yeah, I got about a month till my license expires on the 16th of next month. Yeah, 45 is coming soon.
Yeah. I gotta take my part 107, and then because I actually do research work with drones, I got to take there's a part 137 I have to do. So I'll be in southern Missouri this week going through training on that fun stuff.
So is that like an FAA license deal?
Yeah. So the drones I have, they're huge. I mean, I can launch that drone up, and a 200-pound man can grab the struts, and I'll pick you up and carry you across the road.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're not toys.
No, that's a powerful drone.
Yeah.
You could fly beer to the neighbor's place.
Oh yeah. It'll carry 200 pounds. Easy.
Damn.
So
That's impressive.
One thing I bought got a DJI Mavic 3 Pro, the small drone. That in the videos I do this year, I want to incorporate more of the drone footage. I think that's always really cool. Makes for a nice video when you can throw some clips of a drone view in there.
Actually, what HT Traveler, I won't have to do that for my hazmat because I still have my TWIC card, which is good for 5 years. So my TWIC, they don't have to redo a background check for my hazmat. That nice little government ID, which actually I found out also can, you want to buy plane tickets, a TWIC card will bypass all security too. I can go right around it all.
I found that if you have a concealed carry permit, that works for plane tickets.
Just don't bring your gun with you.
Well, don't bring the gun, but to get that, you have to have already gone through a federal background check.
Yeah, and like for me, like with the TWIC cards, you go to different ports or whatnot, it gets you access to also government areas and whatnot. So you're all, there's a chip in it and it's all, government says you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, TWIC card. Yeah, I think they're good for 5 years. But you got to have those to get into the ports also.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't miss those. I hated doing the ports. They're a mess.
No, don't have to worry a lot about that here in Iowa.
Yeah, I wouldn't think you would have to. So, well, shoot, buddy. Thanks for, thanks for coming on and hanging out.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate it. Enjoyed it.
Yeah. So why don't you go, go ahead and plug your channel, let everybody know where they can, find your adventures and follow along.
Yeah. So you can find me on Twitter on Instagram at IA Hogrider, and you can find me on YouTube at IA Hogrider. Both of those are the two platforms I really play with.
Nice. So everybody go check those out and give them a follow, and we can follow along on Iowa Hogs Adventures.
There you go.
Right on, man. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in and joining in tonight. So we got Milepost 95 coming next Sunday. That post will come out tomorrow. And actually 96 is already scheduled. That'll be coming out soon. So yeah, we're getting booked up, getting close to 100, which I can't believe. It's awesome, and really enjoy all you guys that come in and support the channel, always hanging out, posting questions, and jamming along in the side chat. It's a lot of fun. Can't do all this and have this much fun without you guys. So thank you to everybody tuning in. Thanks, Brad, for hanging out, and we will catch you guys next Sunday. So hey, ride safe, have fun, enjoy that open road.